all, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming and spending some time with us. This is a really special evening for me because this is the first time I've shown a bit of our film in front of a live audience. So thank you. You guys are essentially our focus group for today. I just want to thank every single person that is a part of the Canadian Auto Show, from the organizers, from Justin to Edmund, to all of you, because when we back in the States hear this thing about Canadian hospitality, that all Canadians are just nice, I never really understood what that meant. And if these past couple of days are a reflection of the kindness and the soulfulness and the generosity that represents Canadian people, you guys have done that like in spades. So thank you so much. And I'd like to introduce you to Lola. She is the star of Drifter, the film. She's a 1986 Toyota Corolla. And without further ado, I'd like to share with you the first 7 minutes of Drifter. Thank you. Before I begin, I want to introduce you to the man that also made all of this possible, Tim Rutledge from Huntsville. I think if you guys know him, the staple and foundation of car culture in Toronto. So thank you, Tim, for making all this happen. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, guys. This is so emotional. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling. Thank you for always being there for me, because directly or indirectly, the car community is what allowed this film to be born. And without all of you guys out there, without all the people in the community that have supported me, we wouldn't be sharing this evening together. So this is really for you. This movie is a love letter for you. I know as car lovers, you won't be disappointed, because so many folks came together and they put their heart into this movie. So thank you all. Thank you so much. After we would do the driving sequences, the cars would have to go and get sorted out for the next morning. And Willow Springs actually had closed down and they were remodeling it, so we were able to shoot at the track. We had the whole track to ourselves, right? And I don't know if you guys know Willow Springs in California, but it's a very historic track. A lot of people learn drifting there. It's like it was open to the public, but they recently sold it because it needs a lot of help, And it's in the desert, and in the evenings after we would wrap, it'd be like 11, 12 o'clock, midnight, and a bunch of the mechanics and the car dudes would just be in the garages hanging out around Lola, and talking about, what needs to be done, where we're gonna get these parts. But in those quiet moments, me just kind of looking at everybody, they're laughing, they're enjoying, they're cracking open their beers, and I was like, this is what car life is all about, and if I could bottle that up and give, a little taste of that to all the car guys, I think that's what, that's why we're drawn to these things, It's not just like a solo journey, it's a reason to get together. And the fact that we get to hang out at this historic track, hang out with these cool cars, and just be with each other, those are the memories that I'll take with me forever.
What was the most emotional part for you? Maybe you went too emotional during the movie. So did you have kind of part during the filming when you went too emotional, when you said okay, so I want to stop for a moment to think and then to continue?
Yeah, you know, it's great that you guys have context because the beginning of this film, so what I showed you at the beginning is the first 7 minutes of the film, right? So that's what starts the movie. And that scene with my character's parents in Lola, you know, driving up with the mother and father, that scene, I did not know was going to be so difficult for me to be able to watch and direct that day. And I remember we started rehearsing that scene, and the actress came out, which is, Julie is one of the most amazing actresses I've ever got the opportunity to work with. And I called her directly and I said, it's not a big part, but I need you to play my mother in this film. And she came to set, and the hairstylist had given her this like beautiful hairdo and, you know, these really nice clothes, and I realized that I did not share with her where this character came based off of my mother and my real father. And my mother, you know, was a housekeeper growing up. Like, I would follow her around and, you know, I'd watch her clean people's toilets and stuff. And I said to myself as a kid, I was like, I am not going out like that. And I would, as a kid, be so embarrassed watching my mother, you know, go into somebody's home with the kids coming out and calling her mama-san or whatever, and me being her son, where she could barely speak English. And I was trying to explain to her, I go, this is my mother, and this is my biological father who abandoned us for his own like selfish needs. And I didn't know how personal that these characters were for me, and I just stopped and started to break down. And it was
I'm sorry.
I felt it was the first time that I could honor my mother's sacrifices. And you know, I wish she was there to see how beautifully Julie was able to evoke those emotions and display. And you know, it was beautiful because Joe Sung, the actor who plays the father, and Julie, I didn't have to direct them anymore. You know, like, how do you direct that? You know, and I think just being honest and vulnerable in front of them, they understood what I was looking for, what I was trying to evoke, and I think they did it beautifully. I mean, what an amazing way to start off a movie. It just grounds everybody, because I think people think like they're walking into like a Fast and Furious movie, and those movies are great, you know, but that's not what I'm trying to make. You know, I was like, this is a movie from my heart, you know, and a love letter to the people in my life and the characters that have been there for me, but then also a love letter to the car community. And I think Hollywood, they see the car community in this very one-dimensional way, and they don't see us as fathers and sons and daughters and, you know, great people in our society, right? And it's something that, you know, I wanted to show in our film, right? So.
Okay, I'm a huge fan. I've been watching you for a very long time. Well, my question was, why did you pick the 8.6 out of every car? Because I know this movie is a really personal movie for you. So, like, as we saw in the beginning, like you said, the mother and father characters were based off your own mother and father. And I just kind of assumed you used the 886 because it might have been a really personal car to you. But the thing was, it's kind of contradictory because like, I saw you're obsessed with 240Zs and whatnot, so why did you pick a car like that? And what's the thinking behind the name Lola behind that? Is there like a deeper thing to Lola?
Great questions. Yes, I am a lover of the 240Z sturdy chassis. How can you not be? But if you're going to make a movie about drifting, who is the spokesperson? What car is the spokesperson and ambassador of drift cars? And I know most of you guys know Initial D, you know Tsuchiya-san. You know, if you talk to any of the OG drifters, this is, you know, the Hachiroko is probably the car that they started in. And you know, it was also like a great symbol for the characters in the film, and the character that I played, Teresa. You know, this is not a supercar. These were throwaway cars. You know, when I talked to Daya Shishiro, who is my stunt driver, who does all the amazing drifting in the movie, this was his first car. You know, so he was the right guy to do all the stunts. And I asked him why the Corolla. Because he goes, simple answer, because it was free, right? That's it, right? So, you know, if you're gonna make a car the star of a drifter movie, there really is no other choice. But unfortunately, these cars now are not free. They're super rare, it's super expensive, parts are impossible to find. But that is where the beauty of the car community is that, you know, once people found out that I was making a movie and I was going to honor drift culture by making sure Lola was the star of the film, people donated their cars, they donated parts. Like, parts came from all over the world. The Watanabes came from Japan. You know, CBY sent us the front lid. You know, Sparko gave us all the seats, you know, valve covers, just, and then the parts we couldn't find, and my friends would just like 3D print them, right? So it shows you the power and the beauty of the car culture, the car communities, that all these people came together from all over the world to make sure that Lola was represented properly. And then when you ask why Lola, I name all my cars. You know, like, cars for me are not an appliance where it just gets me from A to B. You know, a build and a car is the best of me during that time and the worst. And she, you know, has gone through like this journey with me. So, you know, she's not just a bunch of plastic and metal. She's my friend. She's my sister. So she has to have a name. And Lola is pretty simple. And Corolla, Lola, why not? Would you? I think it's better than Bill, right?
Yeah. If this 86 is Lola, would you say you're like as a friend? Would you say your Veilside RX-7 from Tokyo Drift would be like an ex to you?
An ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the ex-girlfriend that left me. That cost me a lot of money. Like, she wants the Chanel bags that I can't afford. Like, Lola's the Toyota. Like, she doesn't break down. She doesn't want much. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sungkang.
You're welcome.
Announcers at the drift events all over Canada. I represent Canadian Drift Series. I have two things I want to say. First, we'd love to invite you out to guest drive anytime you want. If you ever want to come to an event up here, we'll have you.
Thank you.
And my next question is, what was the first car you fell in love with? We know you love your minivan. We know that you've had so many cars since Fast and Furious. But what was the first car that took your heart?
It took my heart. I would say it is the Faguzi, the Datsun 240Z with RB26. That, you know, she is also like the Veilside. She costs me a lot of money. She's very finicky. She doesn't listen. She's, very, very, very materialistic, that girl, right? But she's the car that I learned how to fall in love with a car. And you know, we're just like temporary caretakers of these cars, you know, and the reason I would say I have a love affair and a real appreciation and a real relationship with her is the people behind that car, you know, like, I'll never claim that I'm a builder or a race car driver. It takes a village to make a car like that, and you know, I got the opportunity to learn from Kenji, president of Greddy, all these amazing people that worked there. Actually, you know, 240Z S30 lovers from all over the world came together to also help me, like, bring her to life, right? So, you know, when with her, it changed my relationship to a car, because before I used to go, oh, the car. Now I know that it's a she, like she's waiting for me to spend more money on her, right? So, so I love her, right? But I came here for a movie. I came here with Hollywood, right? And this time I'm here because of the car community. So my entry point and the ambassadors of Toronto are totally different, right? So I see Toronto in a completely different way. The restaurants are different because every place that I'm taken to are like car folks. So we speak the same language. It really is like coming to a place with a bunch of cousins and uncles and aunts and sisters and brothers, and so it's redefined my relationship with Toronto and Canada. So thank you for that question. Hey, it's like you're from Toronto?
Yes, he's from Toronto.
Oh my God, I love you. I have a question for you. How do you still have hair on your head?
Well, actually, it is a really balanced flow because my name is Long Chung. As a TikTok influence, the speaker legend.
Let's give it up for the speaker legend.
And my question to you:
Yeah.
What's your most favorite car in the series?
The series, like Fast and Furious series?
Yes.
First of all, before I answer that question, I love you, man. Like this guy, I watch him when I get like a little sad and a little depressed. I watch him and I go, this is the happiest human being in the world. You are so awesome. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much for having you.
Awesome.
You're such a great movie spirit, and this is all about because your band's up there. Is the best movie drifter ever created.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't think I even need to answer the question. We just love you. If you were a car, I would love you. Yeah.
The movie got impaired vision, and we can see that Lola got one headlight only. So where does that come from, and like does it mean something that's very important to the plot or something?
Yeah, so the question is that my character has an impaired eye. And some would call it, a handicap, but I've learned from people that you don't call it a handicap, you actually call it a blessing, right? And the reason I initially wrote the character with that blessing was I really wanted people to see a difference between Han and Tree, the character I played. and so it was in the script initially, but there was something, it didn't feel right because it felt like I was exploiting that blessing, right? And I actually took it out of the script, and then I went to a Formula Drift event in Long Beach. And this is when I started believing in like the movie gods, right? The car gods. This young man starts to walk up to me and looking at his face, and he has this milky eye. And everybody that was working on the movie with me, because we went there to scout and do research for this film, and they're all kind of like, like hitting me with their elbow and going, look at that, look at that. And so his name is Tio, and I asked him if I could talk to him, and I said, can you share with me what your eye's all about? And he goes, oh, my blessing. And I'm like, why do you call that blessing? It's like, well, it's only helped my life. As a young kid, my parents didn't have money in the Philippines to afford to take me to the hospital, so I got infected, and thus this blessing happened. But I'm a driver, and it's actually my other eye has had to compensate, so I have perfect vision, and my peripheral is even better. And then also, the people in my life, I know that they are friends with me because of who I am, and they don't judge me because of this blessing. So my social circle, my friend circle, they're like the most amazing human beings. And I was like, wow, that's a beautiful way to look at it. And I said to myself, what a great way to honor that blessing. But let's not talk about it. Let's not think about it. Let's not put a focus on it. There are many people out there with whatever blessings we have. And if we just accept them in our community for who they are here and not what we see, I think that's the best way to like honor a character with that type of blessing, right? So I was like, oh, this is actually a gift, and I can now separate tree from Han, right? And I don't think you're gonna look at a tree and go, when's he gonna pull out his snacks, right? So it was really Tio helping me, and also on a deeper level, I, as an Asian American man in Hollywood, I feel like my face is the handicap, but now I look at it as my blessing, right? Is the fact that I think when one feels like you don't belong, when you're an outsider, when you're not invited to the table, when you're not part of the cool club, you develop something, you develop empathy, right? And you start to understand. He was the one person in Hollywood who taught me how to connect with our friends, our audience. Daily I would see him struggle to make sure that the Hollywood, like cancer, I call it the cancer, this idea of fame and celebrity would not, affect him, right? And I saw it, and he taught me that, you keep both feet on the ground and you keep your heart open and you look at people in their eyes and you just listen, and it was a testament to the things that people maybe weren't really aware of who he really was because you maybe never got the opportunity to spend time with him or meet him. But I think that's why after his passing, you still talk about him. You still remember him because he was a symbol of kindness, of integrity, of just a beautiful heart, And I think your question and your statement, I think he would be looking down at us and just a big old smile and thanking you, and then getting in his GTR and taking off, right? But yeah, I wish all of us in this room could go and make a movie in honor of him, But I think the fact that you're still thinking about him and you think about him in a positive way, you're already honoring him. So thank you.
Or I don't know. I mean, have you heard of what rallying is? I'm guessing.
Of course, yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
I know rallying. I would love to participate in competitive motorsports, but I'm married to a Korean woman. I don't know if any of you guys ever dated a Korean woman, but they will kill you. And my wife and I, we don't have kids. We've been together for a long time now, and anytime I get into one of these cars, she gets super nervous, and she made a promise that, because she knows my nature, I'm hyper competitive, it's hard for anything that has competitions, I don't really see it as a hobby, it's I have to go and win, right? And so because she knows that most likely I will go and hurt myself, and if something happens to me, she's all I have, and we're older and our parents are her parents are no longer here, and she worries, I mean, that's why she actually hates my cars. She hates Lola. She calls Lola a piece of junk, and she doesn't have airbags, the seatbelts don't work, doesn't have an AC. She hates all the cars because these cars take me away from her, right? So, she's jealous of Lola and Fuzi, and she knows I'm spending money on them too. Right? So, yeah, my future in motorsports will probably be very limited,
Amazing.
Is that a question?
Yes, that's the main question.
Do I want to come to Uganda?
Yes, we would love to have you for the drifting activities because we also have them in Uganda.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, please.
And how can we get to you?
There's anybody that's wearing this shirt you could talk to. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, we need to go to Uganda. I didn't know that we had family in Uganda. Of course. And it's not cold in Uganda, is it?
No, it's summer. We enjoy the summer. We have the sun. We have the best. We are the part of Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. In the early 80s, because somebody broke their neck on one of the water slides. So there's a lot of like ghosts on that water park, right? And Daya Shishiro is a Formula Drift champion. He's retired now, a legend, and one of the most amazing drivers out there, but the worst teacher. Like worst teacher, worst communicator, and I was asking him, I was like, Dai, like, can you kind of walk me through like what I got to do? Because he would go do the wides, and then I would go and do the close-up shots, right? And there's a turn, like, yeah, actually you see it. There's like a turn, and like a really sharp turn. And he's like, my English is not too good looking, and you just figure it out. So just don't go into third gear, right? And I'm like, what? Don't go into third gear. And so I get into Lola, and there's like a long straightaway, and I'm like, what is he talking about over in third gear? So I just put it in third gear, and then the sharp turn happens, and I slam straight into the wall, right? And the camera, so the monitor, everybody at Video Village is watching, but we were out of range. I got out of range, so the monitor shut off, so nobody knew what happened. Right, and then, but Lola started up, and then I got her back to the base area, but her whole front end was like smashed in, and I get up there, and everyone's like clapping, and I'm like, what are they clapping? Why are they clapping? I just crashed the car, right? And they're like, that was awesome, man. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, what happened to Lola? I was like, I crashed. And they're like, when? So nobody actually saw it. So they're thinking like I'm actually doing like great drifting out there. But I actually, first time I got into her, like I slammed into the wall, right? So, but with these stunts, with these like crazy like action pieces. And by the way, all the stunt scenes were directed by Brian Scott, a co-founder of Hoonigan. He directed most of Ken Block's Gymkhana videos, so I sought him out because I feel like the way they captured the drifting and the car stunts that is honest. And he coined this phrase that I use throughout the movie, and I talk about the ethos and the spirit of how we captured the stunts and even the characters' emotions. He coined this thing called the honest angle, like the way content makers on YouTube and social media are capturing car stunts. It's like that they're really driving. That this is honest. There's no camera tricks. There's no special effects. That it's the driver in the car, right? And I said to myself, I go, that's the kind of action I want in the movie, right? And then that was a great kind of spirit to like carry throughout, even with the actors and stuff. But one last thing I'll share with the dangers of doing stunts with cars is like a car is like a loaded gun. If you're not careful and you're not prepared and sorted properly and you don't respect them, these things will kill you, right? And I think people don't understand that. And it really bothers me when people in Hollywood like take credit for something that they did not do. I will never say that I'm a stunt driver, I'm a pro drifter. I love cars, I love to drive, but Dai and all the drifters that came to like create these scenes, they put their life on the line for me in this movie. And one day, you saw like bits and pieces of the spring stuff with the tandem drifting. We were capturing the 3-car drift, and guys from Animal Style. It's like a local, like, great guys. They came out, brought their cars. They were like drifting all day with us. And one of the wheels popped off, and at the top of the hill, and Dai was coming with Lola at the bottom of the hill. And he saw the wheel coming down, right? And the wheel's probably going like 75 miles an hour. That wheel's, maybe like 125 pounds maybe, right? And he was able to swerve just enough so the wheel hit the rear quarter panel of Lola and spun her out. But if it was like a couple of inches closer, he would have died, you know? And that's where I am so grateful to people like that, because there's no complaints. He just went and like started fixing the car. All the car guys came and they just patched up Lola and got her back on the track. But people like Dai and all the drivers, every single day they got in this car, they risked their lives for me and the movie. So
That's awesome, thanks.